Today I will be taking over the new and novice teacher section for this lesson. Today we will be going over keeping your eyes on the prize. Okay, that's what we're going to focus on today. I do want to start by saying there, as I've been saying pretty much this whole year, there are a lot of good things that I am seeing, a lot of good things that myself, network leaders, my team, when we walk around, we're in your classroom, we see a lot of good things, but there are some things that we can tweak, some things that we can improve upon. I have been seeing a lot of good questioning techniques being used. I'm seeing people starting to do the turn and talk a little bit more, us getting students more involved, so that's good. But today we're going to talk a little bit about keeping your eyes on the prize and setting the tone for good behavior and high academic performance. So as I go through this, I'm going to need you all to rock with me, because I'm going to rock with you all. And we got our friend Mike Jackson on the board here, just to signify that, okay? And I always want to start off our sessions with the mission, because this is the reason why we're here. It's why we do the work that we do. First off, Doubletree Elementary will ignite in all students a lifelong love of learning that will positively impact the community and demonstrate 2 skills that will promote a healthy classroom environment while supporting high academic achievement. And teachers will be able to use strategies that will allow students to achieve personal and collective goals while allowing students to make responsible and caring decisions. All right, I passed out a handout to you all. We'll be kind of going through that today. Have something, a writing utensil, kind of fill in as we go along. This will be right there, don't catch you for today. But first, let's go ahead and start with this image here. This is a scenario. It has teacher A often has the majority of her struggles with behavior and academic misconceptions during independent practice. Okay? Using the image above, take 2 minutes to discuss with your partner a strategy that would help this teacher cut down on the number of misconceptions on exit tickets and behavior in the classroom. You have 2 minutes. Go.
I think I've been writing because that right there, that's a single
Bringing it back in 1. I'm going to start with Ms. Jones' table in the back. You all were saying a lot of good things. Go ahead and lift that up for the room for us, please.
First, we said she needs to set her agenda for the class. Like, let them go know what they supposed to be doing, how you supposed to do it. She needs to not be sitting behind their desk. She needs to be walking around, monitoring. And we also said something about, since it's the last day of school, they think they just supposed to, the rules go out the window. That's not how it's supposed to go.
Okay. Mr. Franklin, take me back.
There was a difference, because one, they was explaining us how their independent practice goes a little different hours. Their still kind of won't do. But we're saying one of the things is that she does need to be walking around, actively monitoring as they're working, because one might get stuck. I looked at it and said maybe it's probably whatever the subject they're working on.
Who's familiar with this little character? I am not dating myself, am I? A little bit. Gizmo, there it is. All right, Gizmo. So this is one of my favorite Christmas movies. All right, Gremlins. Gizmo came with a set of instructions. Who remembers what those instructions were? We had some very key instructions for Gizmo. Go ahead and give me one.
Could not get wet.
Could get wet, that's one.
Don't feed them after midnight.
Don't feed them after midnight.
No bright lights.
No bright lights. Right? Those are 3 very key rules for Gizmo. Okay? Very key. What would happen if those rules were broken? We got this guy. All right, we got this guy. So very much like our students are not gremlins, but very much like our students, we have to have things set up for them to be successful, right? Because if we're not monitoring and we're not circulating, then our room can kind of look like this, right? And we don't want our room to look like this. We want to go back to the nice little, cute guy, right? We want to go back to this one, right? Just want our room to be nice and ordered, right? If not, then we're going to end up looking like our friend here, and we're going to be stressed out and everything else. So we want to make sure that we are meeting the expectations of giving clear what to do directions, and that we're up inspecting what we're expecting from students at all times. All right? Our criteria for success, this is also in your handout as well. We have to circulate much. The first thing we have to do is break the plane. All right, the plane is that front of the classroom area, right by the board, we can reach the board here. in your classroom. This way you feel comfortable at, but we gotta step outside of that. We gotta get up close and personal with the students to see what they're doing, what they're talking about, right? And make sure that they are on task. We have to do that. The second one is move systematically, all right? That is, you're looking for those opportunities to circulate that is universally and impersonally, but unpredictable. Like, you know, the kids don't know, but you know, right? You may know that I'm gonna start off with my high flyers over here, because I know that y'all got it before I go over here, but the next day I may start off with my low kids first, just to give them that extra time. So the kids can't pick and choose, like, okay, I know they're gonna go over here, so we got time to talk about what happened on WWE last night, right? You know, all right? And then lastly, engage, all right? Talk to the students. Come close, touch, right? Talk to them. Okay, yeah, this is where I see that you annotated this part. Okay, good. All right. Read and review their work. Students need to know that you're actually looking at their work. All right, that you're paying attention to what they're writing down. It makes them feel valued. It makes you feel like you value their time as well. And then pick up the work for show call. Show off the students' work. Put it under the doc hat. Man, Ms. Moore had this awesome strategy for number 3. Class, let's look at this. Ms. Moore, can you come up to the board and tell the class how you solved number 3? Like, that just makes students feel more ownership in the classroom, if they're a part of what's happening, a part of the learning process. All right, we gotta watch 2 quick videos here. So it says circulate and radar. What do y'all think radar is? Go ahead.
I noticed when he was constantly, he would glance down, but he would keep his head on the swivel.
Yeah, his head on the swivel. Why is that important?
Make sure that even when you're across the room from a child, they still know that you can see them.
Exactly.
Right. So you're not too absorbed with what this student is doing to the point where other kids are over here cutting up. Right? So being able to pop up, look around, scan the room, right? Radar and scan is very important. We'll keep going. Circulation and 100%. What does 100% mean in this example? What does 100% mean? Everybody's doing whatever the motion is. 100% of students are meeting the expectation. I used to have a very similar process to this. When I had my whiteboards, I would say markers in the air, tops off, let's write, right? Then I would do a countdown. So everybody, I made it fun, I made it engaging, so that one, I can scan and make sure that everybody's doing it, make sure that little Johnny Sneal's not back there trying to finish up whatever he's working on, right? But it's a way to make sure that everybody is moving together, okay? 100%, no opt-out.
Count your seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Working the clock. Why is that important?
Time in.
Time management.
Time management, maximizing the time. Sense of urgency, right? When I hear anybody count down, I'm trying to think about what's going on. Oh man, okay, let me go ahead and do. Because ever since I was a little kid, I've been thinking about the countdown from when the rocket ship go up, right? And so every time I hear somebody count down, I'm thinking, okay, I only have a certain amount of time to get done what I get done. What I also do, what I like to add into this, my little spice, is that I like to point out the kids who beat my time, right? So if I'm doing a countdown, I'm like 7, 6. Oh, Mr. Collins beat my time. 5, 4. Then all of a sudden somebody else gonna rush and finish up before they beat my time, right? Oh, see if you can beat my time. Like I always do that just to make sure to embed that sense of urgency in students so that, hey, I can be on track and I can be on pace, okay? So always embed that sense of urgency.
Passages to read, they're more like little paragraphs and a prompt at the bottom. You're going to plan on the back. So it mostly just looks like a blank piece of paper, but that's where your plan is gonna go. It's a little bit of outline practice. You have 12 minutes to do this. Begin. coming around first, looking for those full headings. And shout out to Jason for his urgency. Please be active reading. The passages are short. We should study them.
And how much time they have.
See, I can really walk. She make me know, like, if it's a dot, then it's deep, but if I put a line, then they can look at your head.
So they basically need like and then it'll get you right back when you
They don't know what I'm doing, so they won't have to ask you what I'm doing.
All right, bringing it back in 3, bringing it back in 2, and we're gonna bring it back in 1. We're gonna start with our back table right here with Ms. Richardson.
We were saying we liked video too better because in the video she did aggressive monitoring and that she broke them down into layers, like laps, like 3 laps. Like the first time she told them what she was gonna check for, then she came back the second time. She told them what she was gonna check for, and she indicated with the dot. Then she came back a third time talking about the outline. Then when she came back, she said, okay, I'm gonna look for the thesis. So she broke it down and the kids knew what to expect for each level.
Right, and soon as she gave them directions, she was like, okay, I'm coming around to check. And she know, I like how she made sure that every student was on task. And something simple like in kindergarten, I tell the first thing you do, you get your paper, write your name on your paper. And I look up 10 seconds.
You also have this particular graph on your paper as well. What circulating monitoring is, all these things that we named, but what it's not standing and sitting in one spot. It's not giving blanket praise, be specific, and it's not punitive. We're not here to catch you up. We're here to help. We're here to support, okay? So go ahead, you can fill that in. All right. We can go ahead and put our pencils down in 3, pencils down in 2, pencils down in 1. All right, so what this will look like, when we go through practice, we have practice norms, okay? We wanna make sure we give 100%. We wanna have fun, we wanna stay on stage. That means we're gonna stay in character. We're gonna stay in our teacher character. Feedback is a gift, okay? Feedback is a gift. We have some feedback forms we'll be passing out. I'm gonna go through that. And then we're gonna practice again, okay? Practice won't be the last time. Tomorrow we're gonna have some practice as well in our session, so we're just gonna get used to that, all right?
To be able to number one, to be able to locate the action as well as write the action word in the actual blank in a sense. The first one, I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of that. The first one on your handout, it says, the farmer scatters seeds on the ground. And I'm looking for what showing action in this particular sentence. So I look at each word. Does the word love show me action? Does the word farmer show me action? Does the word scatters show me action? I want to think about scatters.
It's okay if you put that little line.
Something that I'm
Different than we like to add to the room for their experience. Anybody? Okay.
So it's nice to have never spoken really with this colleague of mine, and then the feedback he's given me is exactly what I've been told before. I do too much front loading. I do too much spoon feeding, and then see it's not rigorous anymore if you front load too much. So.
Man, that's some feedback I've been hearing a lot. Feedback even we've given. So hopefully in this experience, you all, I know that we weren't like upfront doing it for the whole room, but hopefully, you know, people at your table did give you some very meaningful feedback that you can use, because we don't have a lot of time in our staff meetings. I don't want to keep you guys here all night because it's already getting dark, you know, early, right? So, one thing I do. All right. So in closing, before we do this, y'all do have an exit ticket. All right. You do have an exit ticket. Should be last page. Should be the last page. What are your major takeaways from this session? And then name 2 ways you will use circulating and monitoring to promote a classroom culture that leads students to achieving personal